Hello there. I would just like to put my 2 cents in about language learning. That is, language learning. I'm sorry I speak too quietly. Um, I'm learning 2 languages, and the reason I'm learning is to communicate with people. I'm not learning languages for the sake of learning languages, because to tell you the truth, it's not all that enjoyable to me to try to memorize things that are completely alien to me. And I do enjoy um, being successful, and in language learning you get a lot of failure before the success comes. So the enjoyment comes at the end, and I'm imagining a time when I'm going to be better than I am now. I don't take exams, so I can't really tell how I'm improving, but I just trust when I look at the stamps on my attendance card that I must be getting better. So it gives me a thrill just as, I'm paying for lessons. Every hour I get that I pay for, I get a stamp, in this little card. So if I was applying for a job and I showed them proof of that I'd attended lessons, I would have that. So um, I don't see that in the future I will be using it for a job, but um, I want to be able to make friends with people who are of different cultures, and I think that the 2 main languages to know are English and French. I don't think Chinese is that important to me, um, because any Chinese people living where I live, which is Japan, will speak Japanese, so I have to learn Japanese. And I learned French because I learned it at school, and it's also quite widely spoken in the world. And sorry, I'm rambling on, I don't have any notes. When it comes to learning Japanese, you hear of people who taught themselves Japanese from watching anime, which is subtitled in English, and what they did was they looked stuff up and everything. That's only one kind of Japanese. Would you really like to be talking to a British person in the style of the, comic Beano? Because if you do, you're going to get people really amazed at your English ability, but insulted that you're talking to them at that level. And really, they will be in hysterics because it will be really like weird for them to see somebody talking to them like in a childish level, especially if you're an adult. Um, and you don't want to learn just office talk because you want to be able to associate outside the office. So even if you're doing it for a job, learning a language for a job, you need to have a knowledge of the plain spoken language. So you need to be taught either by a teacher or to get out there and or watch television or get out and talk to people, which is not always easy to find the time to do. Um, and in learning Japanese, I think kanji is very important because you can understand what the meaning of a letter is if you can understand the kanji. Hiragana is important because that's important for the grammar, to know what they're saying about the topic. Um, and katakana is very important because Japan is more and more using foreign words, and they write these in katakana, and often the word is an English word. So isn't it great that you could read Japanese, which is actually English, in Japanese, written all over the place in katakana? And katakana is used for unimportant things like onomatopoeia, things like slippery, or words that sound like what they mean. slippery is not a good example, but boing or bang or things like that. They woof for a dog, which is different in Japanese. It's one. But anyway, you need to know onomatopoeia because they use it a lot. Even adults use it to describe feelings and sounds, and it's a very acceptable way of talking. I notice my son's teachers use it, not only with the students, but with the adults. You know, a lot of repetitive sounding words they use. I don't know whether those are in katakana or hiragana, like tokidoki, waku waku. These words are really easy to learn words, and they sound a bit like what they are describing. And often there is a meaning connection, like tokidoki. Toki means time, and tokidoki means sometime. Tokoro dokoro, from place to place. So those are usually written in hiragana, I believe. My Japanese is not really great, although I have been here for a long time. Now, I would say grammar is really important because, especially if you're living here a long time, you listen to a lot of words and patterns, and you associate them with what you think is the English equivalent, but it might not be. It might be different, and you get these mistakes that are very difficult to change once you've presumed it means something. It's very difficult for you to understand that it doesn't mean that, it means something different. So at some stage you're going to need a teacher to fix your problems, the grammatical problems that you've got fossilized in your head. So it's better to do it earlier rather than later. So it's better to have a teacher as early as possible. And I've tried being with a class. I'm also an English teacher, so I see students reacting and interacting. And I really think that it's better to be on a one-to-one basis with the teacher, to pay the extra money, because the teacher will concentrate on bringing out your language ability and focusing on your mistakes. If you're in a group, you might be even listening to other people make mistakes, and it will confuse you. You know, in group work, things like that. Unless the teacher is very good, and you are in a group and you know from what the teacher says that those students are making mistakes. I'm not saying that classwork doesn't work. It does work. It's very good with a good teacher. So I think that's about all I have to say about learning languages. You know, I have relatives who speak different languages and are very capable, and they say, you know, songs and reading is important. If you read things aloud, it helps you. So that's really all I have to say about it. So thanks for listening. Bye.